Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this week's Press Pass podcast. This is Ross Foreman, and it gives me great privilege to welcome our host for today's special media teleconference, Impact Wrestling Hall of Famer, Gail Kim. Gail, how you doing today?
I'm great, Ross. Thanks for having me host this again. It was so much fun last time. And of course, I get to do this with the Knockouts division and talking about the Knockouts Bound for Glory match. So I'm super excited for this.
All right, well,
I
will turn it over to you and you can bring in our special guests.
Okay. All right. First, I'm going to announce the challenger at Bound for Glory. She is a 9-time women's champion, the NWA Empower executive producer, and women's wrestling legend, my friend, Mickie James. Welcome, Mickie.
Gail. Hi, babe. Oh, I'm excited to be here. Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm super excited for Bound for Glory. I'm
Me
so
too.
excited for your challenger, who is the champion, and I'm going to introduce her right now, the 2-time and current Impact Wrestling Women's Knockouts champion, and also the AAA Reina de Reinas Women's champion right now. She is the virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo. Hey, Deonna.
Hi, Gail. How are you?
Welcome. Thanks for joining us today, because I know you guys aren't exactly getting along right now.
Well, I'm glad you're here. So good to see you, Deonna.
No, I know it is. Thank you.
Let's keep it a little cordial today so that we can answer all the questions for the press and the media. Although it did get a little ugly last week. I saw Deonna.
She showed up to my house. Deonna, you showed up to my house.
I know what I did.
I mean,
Okay.
Deonna, that seemed like the second time you kind of went into Mickey's, territory. First, you showed up at NWA Power, and then you came to her actual house, which I must say that was pretty brave of you.
Well, let's face it. Go ahead.
Thank you. It seems like everyone's spitting the narrative a little bit. I think we forget what happened at Slammiversary when Mickie came to my house, to my Impact Wrestling, our Impact Wrestling, Gail, and attacked me. So as far as I'm concerned, we've spun this narrative so far to somehow make me the bad guy. But I'm the victim in all of this.
You're the victim. I know. If I remember correctly, I came to Empower to invite you to be a part of something that I thought was pretty special. And I respected you as a champion. And I think that you are a star. And I was grateful for the opportunity to have you and Impact represented at Empower. I'm sorry that your ego has allowed you to spin this in another way. But if I look at it, I think it's twice now that you have had to attack me behind my back and catch me off guard in a place where you knew that, I wouldn't expect it. And that's how you've gotten the advantage twice now. So, clearly that's your way.
We'll see now the level, what is it? The playing field is level now, even Steven, and things are really heating up for Bound for Glory. Guys, as a fellow female wrestler, despite all the animosity between you two, I am really looking forward to this match. Okay, it's going to be a future legend, we hope, right, Deonna, against a living legend right now. And first, we're going to have a question from Michael Morales Torres, just wanted to get that name right, from Lucha Libre Online. We can go ahead with Michael.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Michael. How are you?
All good here in Puerto Rico. Hope all of you are doing well. Thank you very much for your time. I have a question for the three of you. First is that, we saw an all-women's event at the NWA with Empower, but now we're going to see something really, really important as it is Knockouts Knockdown. Gail, Kim, and Mickie as well, you've had your experience in multiple companies all around the industry, as well as Deonna. For you as women, as performers, how important for you is to have an event focused completely on the women's wrestling and its evolution to what it is today?
Do you want to go ahead? Mickie, you
for one, I think it's incredible. And it shows that, what amazing things that all the women can do across the world. And I think that the Knockouts division and Impact have always been ahead of the curve with the women. I feel like they've always done really cool stuff. And so to bring back the Knockouts Knockdown and to be a part of that from, on the commentary team with Beta, and to watch all of these matches live and in person and unfold, it was just amazing. And coming off Empower and then to be asked to be a part of this, it was really special to me. So and then there was a special match that I had obviously a real interest in, which was Deonna's Pick Your Poison match. So
Wow. Well, I will say, coming off the tail of NWA Empower, and for me to be able to be a part of that as well was truly, I told Mickie after that event happened, I said, thank you so much, because not only, us women, we always feel like we're fighting. No matter I'm retired and I still feel like I'm fighting for women's wrestling at this point, even though things have gotten much better. And I have to say, it gave us such to know that we did it together. And it was so, not only was the show fulfilling for entertainment wise for the fans, but it was emotionally fulfilling for us as women in this business to know that all these years of hard work has paid off in some way. And for us to be able to bring Knockouts Knockdown, hasn't been back since 2017, to bring it back right off of that and taking that momentum, it's been great. And using a lot of the same girls, the really top of the industry right now. It's just a really exciting time for women right now. I think 2021 for women's wrestling has been a huge success. Deonna, you want to comment on that as well?
Yeah, I mean, just to piggyback off what you said, Gail, I think to have both of these events so close to each other really pushes forward the narrative that women's wrestling is important and should be cared about and is a draw, and we can do everything that we want to, really. But Knockouts Knockdown especially is really special to me because that was my 8th professional wrestling match with Impact. So it was a really full circle feeling when we were told there was going to be a Knockouts Knockdown, and now I got to be a part of it on the flip side. So I'm really excited to see what the reaction is going to be on Saturday when everyone sees this event. I think we brought in some really great girls who are looking for an opportunity. And again, I know what that feeling is like. So I really think that people are gonna pay attention to these ladies. And then, I'm obviously the virtuosa. So I am the head of the pack at Impact, and I really am excited for my match. It doesn't matter who Mickie picked for me in this Pick Your Poison thing because I've dominated them all. Most of our Knockouts roster, most of the outside ladies that have come in, so I have no problem with whoever you picked, Mickie.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's what it takes. I mean, that's what it takes to be a champion, right? You got to be able to face anyone that's thrown at you. So thank you, Michael. We appreciate you. Next, we're going to hear from Tom Campbell from Cultaholic. Tom?
Cultaholic.
Yeah.
I recognize that name. Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We're just taking a minute.
That's
to connect.
okay.
Yeah. Sure, Tom. Okay, if we don't have Tom, I can just talk about what's happening.
Can you hear me now by any chance? Have we done it?
Hello.
Oh, there you are, Tom. Go for it.
It's a Christmas miracle. Hi, everybody. How are we all doing? Are we good?
Are you?
Good. I like your train in the back there.
It's Harry Potter Lego.
Oh,
my gosh, that is so cute.
my son would love that. That's great.
It's definitely mine. Doesn't matter. Anyway.
Big
But
right? Everyone's got to be a big kid.
You got to be a big kid. You got to be. Want to piggyback a little bit off what you guys were saying about sort of the importance of events like Empower, like the Knockouts Knockdown, and want to reflect on something we saw on Impact on this past Thursday, which was the launch of the Digital Media Championship. And it was hard to ignore the fact that in amongst the video package, we see some great male wrestlers and some great female competitors as well. So just to kind of put this out there, it's a three-pronged one. Does this suggest that the digital media title is going to be an intergender title? Is this something that Mickie, Deonna, you guys want to be having a dust up over? And how important is it now for a company with the credibility and the legitimacy of Impact Wrestling to have an intergender championship right now?
Well, the intergender, I believe it's an intergender, a digital media championship. That's what it's indicating right now, and the direction we're going to go through towards. I'm all for it. I mean, we've seen other titles in other companies basically that are kind of open, the 24/7 title, I guess you can call it. I mean, it's pretty much open to any gender, right? That title is. I'm okay with it. I like it. I think it's something different. I think it's something exciting that, yeah, I mean, what's to say that Deonna or Mickie, if whoever's the Knockouts champion, can't go for the digital media championship after that? So I think it's just more excitement, more things to look out for Impact Wrestling. And ladies, are you interested? Looking out, have your eyes on that title or what?
Yeah, I have my eyes on all the titles. So there's no doubt if there's an opportunity to become the digital media champion, why wouldn't I want to carry that championship? As far as intergender wrestling goes, I think Impact has done it, and there's a purpose to it. And when it makes sense, it makes sense. So I think it's really cool we're in a company that allows us to break those barriers down and push forward again how important women are in terms of wrestling, and that we can go toe to toe with men. So yeah, I would love to add a third championship to all my gold.
Yeah. That's so exciting. No, it really is exciting. And I think to show different types of matchups and opportunities for people who wouldn't necessarily have a chance to wrestle for. But what I'm most excited for, I'm really excited for you, Deonna, because after you lose the Knockouts championship, you can have something to fill that little void. So you're welcome, you know?
Okay, before we get a little bit too escalated here, thank you, Tom. We appreciate your questions.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you, Tom.
Ella J from SEC.
Ella's here. Ella. Well, now we can solve, you know, Gail, that Deonna and I's biggest rival is Ella, apparently.
Okay.
No, I think Mickie's biggest rival is Ella, because Ella's already said that I'm her favorite wrestler. So I think that's between you two.
Well, this isn't about me. This is about solving your guys' issues. So obviously you guys have not seen eye to eye in the past few weeks, but we're all about celebrating and honoring your fellow women's wrestlers. So for each of you, what is one thing you admire or like about the other person?
Oh, good question, Ella.
That's a great question. I will say that I admire most about Deonna what she's done since she's walked into Impact Wrestling, and she's really carved out her name. And I think that you've done a remarkable job, Deonna. I will say that, from professional to professional. She's an amazing talent, and I've watched her matches and her ability to go in there with all of her opponents and have what I like to say the match of the night. And I know that at Bound for Glory, regardless of what anyone says, you're going to be up for the fight of your life. And I expect nothing less than that from you. So the real winners hopefully are the fans. Ella, are you going to be there?
I'm trying.
It's your birthday weekend. It's your birthday weekend.
It is.
Plan something.
We'll see.
We can make a cake and then we can shove it in Deonna's face together. How about that?
Oh, okay. I was thinking we could shove it in her face to celebrate, but that's fine.
It's happened before, so bound to happen again.
Thank you for that. I guess my answer would be, I admire most how headstrong Mickie is about women's wrestling and how much she loves it and wants, again, like we've been talking about, to put it at the forefront of professional wrestling. That is something I dreamt about doing myself as a child growing up, wanting women to be more than they were perceived to be. So to be working with women who feel that same way and are in a position to make it happen is very special to me. So that is what I most admire about you.
I'm glad we could have this therapy session.
That was a really good question, Ella. Thanks for giving us some, love in this chat room.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ella. Next, we're going to have Brad Marcus. Brad, are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Brad.
Okay, hello.
It's all
For
right.
toilet side wrestling talk, but I'm fully dressed. I'm fully dressed.
Thank goodness.
Nor am I on a toilet. It's an honor actually being able to speak to the both of you. It truly is. How much value do you put into tape study for like a match of this magnitude, and especially you, Deonna, when Mickie's got a vast catalog? Like, where do you even begin?
Yeah, I think you begin at the beginning. I am the virtuosa. I am a master strategist. So tape study is essential to what I bring to the table when I step in the ring. If you can pinpoint what your opponent's thinking or the move they might be going for, there's always a counter to that. And that is exactly what the virtuosa does in every match that she steps into the ring for. So, you pretty much nailed it on the head. There's a vast category on YouTube of Impact stuff, of WWE stuff, of her match most recently at NWA with Kylie Ray. So I get to see every generation. Everything Mickie's ever done is at my fingertips, and I'm going to absolutely use that to my advantage at Bound for Glory.
That's good to know. That's good to know, because I've been studying you too, and I think, yes, to follow up on that, yes, it is a vast thing. But what I think is really important too is the mental study, and I like to really. Yeah, I am. Deonna likes to play mind games and do things like show up at my house and stuff, but I also am the master of the mind games, and I think that I got your number here. So
you've yet to prove that clearly.
Huh?
So, you've yet to prove that. So I don't know.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell.
Brad, do you feel
I'm drinking
with your answer? These girls are making me laugh.
That was the perfect answer. Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. I appreciate it.
And we appreciate your backdrop too.
Yeah,
Thank you. Anytime.
Yeah, it's unique. We love it. Thanks, Brad. Okay, so next we're gonna have Riju from Sportskeeda, and he's actually calling in from India, guys. So it's midnight.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For being so patient and staying up for us.
Raju. Hello.
So, hello. Yeah, long time no see. Essentially, there are a lot of free agents on the market that all of you have probably worked with. Do you see any of them showing up at Bound for Glory? And are there some free agents you'd want to see at Bound for Glory?
Ooh, that's a good question. The whole free agent thing is a cool thing, I think, because it gives the control to, they can kind of show up wherever, and that's a delightful surprise. I don't really know. Whoever it is, I hope they don't show up in our match. I got a lot of work to do out there already, and I got a lot of butt to kick already. So I don't need two,
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I would agree that I think being a free agent is cool. And we've seen a ton of people come into Impact over the last couple months. And Chelsea Green is one of those people where we're bringing in a ton of free agents for our Knockouts Knockdown pay-per-views. So I think it's awesome. I think that giving them the opportunity at Bound for Glory, at our biggest event of the year, to come in and make a statement is essential to any wrestler that wants to kind of renew themselves. And I got that opportunity at Slammiversary to win the Knockouts Championship for the first time and really solidify myself. So it'll be interesting to see who shows up, definitely. And I hope some people do and shake up our Knockouts division, more people for me to beat after I kick Mickie's butt.
Oh, I will say, on top of that, Impact Wrestling has been doing such a great job at actually giving some great surprises. This past Slammiversary, I will say, there were surprises that I didn't even expect, and I'm there working. But I think a lot of people were surprised, fans, and it's always just so refreshing to have those nice surprises in wrestling, because I think people are just too spoiled now by spoilers, right? So it's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
So next is my thorn in my side from Fightful Wrestling, right? Sean Rossap, you are
John.
What's
He
wrong with
wants to fight me all the
spoilers?
time.
Personally,
So is
I
Joe.
love
Joe's
spoilers.
there.
Hate a spoiler.
I know you do.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
I think spoilers are great. So I have a question. It's tied to all three of you, but sort of respectively. Gail, when you see an attack like what you saw last week on Impact, as a person of authority,
Yes.
how do you address it, or do you address it, or is it girls will be girls, boys will be boys. Sometimes they beat each other up. Deonna, how did you convince a cameraman to follow you to Mickie's house? And Mickie, had things went differently, what would you have done with Deonna? Like, if she's laid out, are you dragging her to the property line? Like, how is it going to work out?
I did not know how, well, I didn't see that coming. So I didn't know how that was going to work out. I mean, she's lucky that my son wasn't there, because we would be having a much different conversation right now, for one. I suppose eventually I would have called the authorities and had her arrested in her cute little white shoes, and she would have looked real cute in a jail cell like that.
I mean, you were wearing the same outfit, were you?
We were not wearing the same outfit, for gosh sakes.
No, I think the clothes you wear to clean a stall at the barn are a lot less tasteful than the clothes I wear. So,
it's true. I mean, I did have a tank top, some jeans, and some muck boots on.
You were both wearing white after Labor Day.
Oh, that's not a rule. It's not a real rule. I don't like that all the way. I'm gonna be all white, Bound for Glory.
But Gail, how do you handle that? Like, when you see
Yeah.
your
Yeah,
top
Gail,
champion,
how are you going to handle this?
how are you going to
Well,
handle it?
listen,
Or are
the match
you?
has been set. The match has been set. So I've been there. I've had fights very similar to that. I love it. Okay. I love it. Let them go at it. And I can't wait for Las Vegas, Bound for Glory, Samstown. I can't wait to see who's going to come out on top. Sometimes you need to get a little dirty like that, you know, throughout this process. And then at the end, let's see who's going to come out victorious.
Thank you all very
Thank you,
much.
Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
thank you.
Next, we've got we have Kevin. Kev or Kevin from Nerdly. What do you like to be called, Kev or Kevin?
Kevin, anything's fine. Anything's fine. I don't mind. You've earned the right to call me whatever you want.
Welcome, Kev.
So I am gonna step back a little bit to Deonna. Before, during one of your answers, you mentioned growing up as a young girl and all that, and looking up to these wrestlers and the likes of Mickie James and Gail Kim. I watch a lot of wrestling with my 10-year-old daughter, and right now there is just such a multitude of fantastic talent out there, females-wise, across the board. What would be a good bit of advice that you guys would give to someone her age or any girl their age wanting to maybe look to get into this sort of career?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, I would say first, make sure your education comes first, I think, because even in wrestling, you need to have an education and a knowledge of how business works. But also I would say, and I'm sure Deonna and Gail can both attest to this, is like, do your homework and find the right school, like a school that has like a track record and is respected across the board, because a lot of there's obviously talent comes from different places, but there's a lot of really, especially now, I think there's more respected schools out there now than there ever was. But there's also a lot of not so good schools. And I that was my biggest thing, is when I first started, the school I started at, I ended up transferring like a year and a half later, and I had to relearn a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm grateful for it because it was my foot in the door, but I had to relearn a lot of stuff over after that first year and a half or whatever. So
Definitely walk before you run, people, if you want to do that, because just like you said, I always say the same thing is get a backup education, a backup skill, whatever. I have education, but I still wish I got more backup skills, because this business is not something that can last forever. I mean, I retired when I was 40. So, I mean, 40 still, I know maybe not to you guys, but it is still too young, right?
it's very young.
So, you have a lot of time, and I've been just very fortunate to be able to stay in the business, but that doesn't always happen. So definitely what you're saying, that
Especially for women, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, and
it's not now. It is now, more than it used to be, but the average span of a female in the wrestling business was like 7 years, when I got in, and it's that you would be actually making money or being able to call it a career per se. So, yeah.
What would your advice be?
I think that I started wrestling when I was 18, fresh out of high school. So I think my biggest advice, besides what you guys have already said is to get an education, because I wish I had done that, and I'm doing it now and my life is crazy, is to be a kid, and maybe don't start until you're 18. Live your life, because those are years that I missed with friends and going to college, and a lot of stuff that are once in a lifetime. You're only going to get to do those things once. And I see a lot of, especially where I'm from in the Northeast, young people starting when they're 16 and 15 and 17, and it takes away from your childhood. So go be a kid and enjoy what 16, 17, 18, 21 has to offer, and enjoy that part of your life before you get into this, because once you're in wrestling, it's you're either all in or you're all out if you want it to be your career. And there's a lot of things that I missed from that time period in my life that I wish I could have done differently.
Save your money. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you. And it's amazing for me as a father, because she has so many amazing, talented women to look up to on the scene. So thank you for that. Makes my job easier.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah. Aw.
Words. Wish her good luck.
Yeah.
So next we have Kristen Ashley from Bell to Bells. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, Kristen.
Hi, Kristen.
Hi, ladies. How are all of you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I have a question for each. Deonna, your 1-year anniversary of signing with the company is approaching this month.
Yes.
You've done some incredible things in the past year. You've been a champ for almost the entire year. What's next for you? And then for Mickie, you're a former Knockouts champion, you're making your Impact return after almost 6 years. What would it mean for you to win the Knockouts championship, and what would your approach be after that with it?
Deonna, you want to go first, or?
Sure, thank you. I think what my biggest focus is right now is not, anything. It's not anything but Bound for Glory. This is, the biggest match. One might say that I've had thus far. So my focuses are set on this. And it's been an incredible year. I'm grateful for all of the cool things I've been able to do, and the history I've been able to make for myself, and really, carve out my name as the best technical women's wrestler in the world. But this match is going to be a telltale sign that if I am what I am, and I can do what I say I'm going to do, and that's defend my Knockouts championship successfully, that is what's going to cement my legacy permanently. So I have no other focus right now but my match at Bound for Glory.
Well, it's a real shame that that's what you're banking on to cement your legacy, because I don't think that's going to work out for you, Deonna. No, however, I'm going to be honest. I've been fortunate enough to do a lot in the business, and I had taken a lot of my focus and put it in women's wrestling and representing that and be able to put on Empower. But to have the opportunity to come back and fight for the Knockouts championship, something that I've held 3 times, after not holding any championship anywhere in the last, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've held gold. So it's a huge opportunity for me. And it's a huge opportunity for me against, Deonna, who is, without a shadow of a doubt, probably one of the best women out there right now, globally, across the globe. And so it's going to test me on a lot of levels, and it's mentally tested me, and I've been prepping for it, like mentally and physically, because I know that she's going to bring 10,000%. And so I'm going to have to do the same. Love her or hate her, you got to respect that about her. And she is very, very technical, and like the technical side, like everyone knows, that was never my thing. That was not my, so she might have been trying to get, brush up, I should say, Gail. Brush up on my technical. I'm like, you are a master of that.
I said it on social media yesterday because someone was questioning, well, has Mickie, you've been around for a while, you're a veteran. And I said, don't you worry about Mickie James. She's still got it.
I never lost it.
You never lost it, girl.
Never lost it, baby.
Thank you, Kristen.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Next up, we're going to have Dino from the Body Slams and Dropkicks podcast.
Oh.
Good evening, ladies.
Hi.
Nice to see you all again.
How are you?
I've actually got a question for Deonna and Mickie. I do have one for Gail as well, if she doesn't mind.
Okay.
So, ladies, obviously you faced a lot of women in your time. So who would you say that you faced does your opponent a bit similar to?
To Deonna. I don't know that I've ever faced anyone that's really similar to Deonna. And honestly, I don't think, because her technical game is so strong. I mean, I think Beth and Jazz, or like a combination of Beth and Jazz, is really where I would probably put if I had to like mentally and physically prep for. Yeah, that's a good question though.
You're right. There's not that many technical female wrestlers out
There's
there.
There's not.
So Deonna,
She
yeah,
smiles. Look at her.
Clarity, I know.
It's definitely a good gift to have, you know.
It is. It is.
Yeah, I it's a hard question, but the first person that popped into my mind was Chelsea, because I feel like she's someone I've been fortunate enough to train with and be in the ring with and tag with, and she can do a little bit of everything. And I feel like, Mickie, you fall in that category of you can do the high fly, you can do, I mean, everyone can do a little bit of technical wrestling. So I feel like, yeah, it's a different ball game when you're good at a lot of things. So yeah, I guess my answer would be Chelsea.
Ciao, ciao.
I'm going to say, are you ready for yours, Gail? It's going to be even harder than this one.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Right, now, as far as I'm concerned, you and Awesome Kong had the best rivalry in the history of TNA and Impact. But we all know how good Deonna is. But do you think Deonna would be able to be Awesome Kong in her prime?
Oh boy! Wow, in her prime.
In her prime.
Both kind of in their prime right now. And you listen, Kong is unmatchable. I will always give her that. You know, there will never be another Kong. But it's always possible. You just never know with an underdog. And when it is a different game, or you have another way to get in there, like Mickie was just saying, the technical game, you know, Kong may not have had as much experience with that in the ring with an opponent. So you never know. You could throw someone off and hey, she's beatable. So you never say never. That's my answer.
Yeah. I would say the one thing I always remember about watching you and Kong is, I think I'm right in saying it was literally as beyond personal as it can physically be.
Yeah, you know, I will say, going back to basically what I strived for back then was, making our world as believable and real as possible. I just wanted to bring all I had in every match, and so did Kong, and I'm just happy that people are still talking about it to this day. It's truly an honor, so I appreciate it.
Nice answer. Ladies,
what happened?
I think we lost him. We're all good. So next up, thank you, Dino. Next up, I don't want to crucify your first name, so maybe I might need you to say it. It's
Najir.
Najir.
Yeah.
Najir Chambers, thank you and welcome.
And he's wearing the Bound for Glory shirt.
Yeah,
Already. So I got to say, it's obviously it's an honor to be in the presence of greatness all across the board. And man, Vegas is going to be hot when this match goes down. I can't wait. But I got to ask and piggyback off of a question that was kind of said earlier. Gail, you kind of dodged it, but to the competitors here, it's clear that you two, based on last week's On Impact, that you will go above and beyond, even a slight attempted murder to be the victor here. And as the fans here, we want a definitive winner. So we had to add a stipulation to make sure that happens. Ladies, what would it be?
Well, I think that, Mickie has already professed how great of a technical women's wrestler I truly am. So if I get to pick the stipulation, it's going to be a submission match. That's what I do best. I break arms. And that is the strategy I go into every match wanting to use. So I would pick a submission match so I can snap her arms clean off her body.
I bet you would. I would have to say, based off of what happened, at my house, I mean, we could either go old school, like country style, and do the old four corners or the bull rope match, or we could just do something that I've been and had a lot of success with before, and we could do a cage match, Deonna. That would be fun.
Cage match quite quick. I mean, like you profess how great of an opponent I am. I'm not gonna go down easy. It's not gonna be 30 seconds, and you're.
Well, I've had more than one, so maybe Google them. You know, one of them was the main event of the show against a legend, Tara, you know, so.
It is Vegas.
Well,
Anything
we
goes
could
in
make
Vegas.
sure that, you know, yeah, your king couldn't be out there with you. It's so, you know, make sure we don't have anybody interfering to help you out or anything like that. So.
You like those answers? I personally would have chose last knockout standing match, because that really ultimately kind of, you know, got to keep them down for that 10 count. And
I like that too.
I like it. I like it.
I like that.
Last knockout standing.
Well, Gail has the ability to make something happen, just maybe, you know, I'm just saying, but I'm excited.
We'll see
Well, it's going to be a good time. And thank you for the answer to the question.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Next up, we have Isaac Cortez from Wrestling Sport.
Thank you. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Hear you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, okay. Oh man, you look very pretty today, ladies. So I I have a 3 question for first, Deonna. Many people describe you as the best female wrestler today, but what does this match against Mickie James at Bound for Glory mean to you? So would it be a dream match for you?
I was pretty clear a couple weeks ago that this isn't a dream match for me. You know, I said that on Impact that there's a whole line of women that I'd prefer to wrestle that would be a dream match for me ahead of Mickie. So no, the answer is no. But the match is important because this is it's personal now. And I think last week, I showed that I'm willing to go any lengths to show how dominant of a champion I am, and that I can get in your head and play my mind games and show up where you least expect it. So, yeah, it's not a dream match for me, but apparently it is for some people. I know it is for Mickie.
This is interesting. So, Mickie, you are a part of the Impact wrestling history. You come back this year after 6 years, you know. Now you are behind the knockout title. So what does it feel to become back to a company where you have made history?
It's amazing. And, you know, to be able to come back at Slammiversary and for the, you know, the reaction and the response from the fans to be there and to be a part of that, and to even ask Deonna to be a part of Empower and to head that up. Like, it, you know, it's been really, really cool. And then to be able to, you know, go on forward now and to have a chance at the Knockouts Championship at Bound for Glory, which is a pay-per-view that I've been able to make history at before. But now, you know, with so much time and space in between, and how much the women's wrestling has evolved and the spotlight is really getting shown now, it's really, really cool. And it's a full circle moment for me. And I'm very, very excited. Very excited.
So finally, my last question is for you, Gail. If we talk about history in Impact Wrestling, it's inevitable not to talk about you. So currently, how do you describe the Knockouts division in Impact compared to when you were an active female wrestler in the roster?
They're both very special to me, and I'm not just saying that. It's different being part of the roster and being part of that camaraderie within the locker room. But let me just tell you, this Knockouts division right now is just, I'm so proud to be able to be a part of it. I'm so proud to where we started in 2007 and where we are in 2021 right now. The fact that Impact Wrestling has always carried women's wrestling nonstop from 2007. We've never stopped and continued that. And the women's division is just getting better and better with the amount of talented women out there on the scene. It's incredible. I mean, and the fact that we have this forbidden door open right now, that we have worked with NWA and had our talent over there and working back and forth. And we did the NWA Empower with the AEW girls as well. And it's just a great time to be a woman wrestler right now. And I'm going to say it, I think we're the best. I think the Knockouts division is the best. Okay. I've never actually kind of played it down all the time, but consistently, the heart and the way that the company supports us, I couldn't have asked for anything better.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. So next we're gonna have James from that 90s wrestling podcast. James, are you there?
Yep. How you doing, Gail?
Hey, James.
Hello, James.
Hello.
Hi. Question for each of you, if I've got the time. Start with you, Deonna. I remember having one of your first interviews when you joined Impact, and since then you've made the Knockouts division your own, and you faced many of the great knockouts who is in Impact at the minute, and also some of the biggest legends of all time. So during this time, how proud of yourself of making all these matches happen, but also how sorry, I've lost my words. How grateful are you to Impact Wrestling for giving you this platform to make all this happen?
Yeah, I think I'm probably the most proud person of myself because before I signed with Impact, I was in a place I didn't even know that I wanted to be a wrestler anymore. So to be able to come into a company and prove my worth, not only to the wrestling world, but again, to myself, is super special to me. The last 18 months with Impact have been mind-blowing with the reception I've got, with the incredible things they've allowed me to do. And then, the consistency I've had wrestling at the top of my game and really, putting myself at the forefront of being one of the best in the world. That's all I've ever wanted, and Impact gave me the opportunity to do it. So I am over the moon about how this entire journey has started and then, continues to grow.
Cool. And Mickie, you've got a storied career with TNA/Impact Wrestling, and you've been part of some great rosters in the past. So how does today's Knockouts roster compare to them? And how would you compare Deonna to champions of the past?
Well, I think the roster today is stronger than ever. And it just goes to show how far and how much women's wrestling has grown in the last, decade or two. And I think the biggest difference maker is the amount of women on the other side of it, women like Gail or Medusa or Jazz or myself or Lisa Marie, all these that can provide knowledge to the generations before, where we didn't really have a lot of that. And women who are getting into wrestling to be wrestlers now, like that's the really, really cool difference maker. So it's just like the competitiveness and the edge is so, the bar has been raised and it's going to keep getting raised. And so that's the most exciting part of it. And Deonna, as I've always said that she is an incredible champion and she's a remarkable competitor, and she's obviously a student of the game. And I'm excited about the match, and I know she's going to bring out the best in me. So I'm excited about it.
Awesome. And Gail,
Deonna has pushed a couple of our legends to the limit, so I don't expect.
Hired one of them. We haven't seen one of them since. The longest.
I don't know if they actually said they were retired, though.
I don't know that anyone.
Impact, so I it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you.
Last Impact, so,
Getting a little messy here. Okay.
And speaking of retired, Gail, the question was always going to come, and I might as well be the one who asked it. With all the great women's wrestling we've seen this past year and all the tournaments from Ring of Honor, NWA, and obviously Knockouts, Knockdown, what's going to be happening soon, is there a chance we might be seeing you strapping the boots back on and then having another run?
No.
Come on, we need it.
Well, listen. I never know what to say to this. It's just that I had a really great end to, in terms of a personal, I think every wrestler, Deonna, Mickie, everyone, if you have your final match and you're very satisfied with that match, it's really hard to open that door again, because there's not many people who get to finish their careers the way where they feel at peace. That's my main reason.
Yeah.
I don't see the point of it, because I think there's great girls I can have matches with, but what's the point? I've had my time, right? So there's so many talented women out there. This is their time. This is their time to shine. This is their time to make magical moments. I've done that. I feel very satisfied. So, but I thank you. I'm very flattered.
Oh,
awesome. And good luck with Saturday and good luck with Bound for Glory.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So thanks, James. Okay, we're gonna go to Ross now, who has a question from our Facebook page. Ross?
Oh.
Got a fan
Yes,
question?
so first I will say, actually, Gail, I'm surprised it took 45 minutes before we had that last question from James about your career. So this question is from our Facebook fans watching. His name is Ignacio, and we will start with Deonna, the champion. What was your first match, and how did it set the stage for the rest of your career?
My very first match was in a VFW in Warren, New Jersey, for the company so they had the training school and then they'd run shows the first Friday of every month. And it was against a woman who had been wrestling in the Northeast, maybe for, 10 or 12 years at that point. She was, established wrestling for all of the big women companies up that way. And for whatever reason, she wanted to break me in. And I was fortunate enough that we got to practice beforehand and get to, roll around with each other and stuff before our actual match. And she dislocated my jaw. So heading into the match that weekend, I was terrified. And, I was 18 years old. I didn't know, who I was or what wrestling I would be doing or what to expect, how fans would react. I didn't have real gear. So I think I was a little timid and I was terrified and I cried. And so that definitely set the stage for, the first year of my wrestling. But I look back and I laugh at that little girl who was so in over her head and so scared to make an impression and to use her voice, because that's not who I am now. But I learned that how I want to treat people that are new coming into wrestling and how we can make people feel more welcome and want to be a part of this. So it was definitely a learning experience.
You've come so far, Deonna. I mean, just from that first knockdown to now, to see the change, the evolution, and the confidence more than anything. I think women's wrestling, I think every women's wrestler too, feels like this business gives us that strength to be very independent and strong and confident. Right. So it's great things for little girls to look up to. Okay, next. Do we have another question, Ross, from fans, or are we good there? No? Okay, I think you're on mute. So we're good.
That's it.
Okay,
one question. You will move on to Jim.
Yeah, I want to move on to Jim from the Miami Herald. Jim?
Hey, thank you all for having me today and being a part of this.
Yes.
This is awesome. And first of all, I just wanted to, I think Deonna can appreciate this. Mickie, thank you for the red, white, and green Italian colors in the background. We appreciate it very much.
I'm still celebrating Cinco de Mayo here in my studio.
Cinco de Mayo? No, those are Italian. Come on.
Yeah, sure. Sure it is. Sure. I thought they were, I thought it was Cinco de Mayo.
Hey, NWA Empower, what an awesome event. And Impact Wrestling with the Knockouts division, what's that done for women's wrestling? And Deonna, you've been in the business now for a while, but you're still young at it. But I'm curious, for all three of you, who today do you see as some of the young women's talent coming around? Because I know you all have your eyes on what's out there today. And just if you can give us a few names of some of those young talent.
Of women who are not signed yet, or you haven't seen on television, or women who are spotlighted or on television now?
Anyone in general from the newer, younger generation of women that are now starting to come up, whether they're on TV or maybe even if they were on NWA Empower and they're not necessarily on TV right now.
Yeah. I will say the two women who I really thought who were unsigned or untapped talent that were at Empower that I really, really thought was Tootie Lynn. Obviously, I think little Tootie Lynn's she's so cute and so young and hungry and just so sweet and humble. Deonna, do you know that word?
I do.
Are you aware of that word? And then another person that I thought did remarkable job is Masha Slamovich, and I think she's a star. She's got a lot of sauce, and she's quite poisonous, if you will, or it could be.
Anna, what are your thoughts on who's out there?
I mean, okay, so when I came back to the Indies, the first person I really, really wanted to wrestle was Roxy, and she just recently won the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. So it's really exciting to see her kind of come into her own, and I feel like there's a ton of similarities between us. So I just have a special place in my heart for her. And then someone who actually comes from my training school was the first person who came to mind, Megan Bain. She trains with Damian Adams. I've wrestled her quite a bit up in the Northeast. She's doing a ton of stuff with Beyond and WWR. So I'm really excited to see where the next year or two takes her.
Very cool.
Are you good?
It's so weird to hear you say somebody else to talk about somebody else besides yourself. It's just really weird for me.
He asked about new people. He asked about people who aren't as experienced and sophisticated and champion-esque like me. I'm the champ. So I couldn't say myself. I had to give credit where it was due, which I feel like I've done quite a bit in this whole interview. So I don't know where the hostility is coming from.
I'm just saying it's just awkward. I didn't even know how to take it in. I'm still absorbing it all because I'm just used to you talking about yourself,
Well, when you're
okay. I think we got the point. A lot of animosity here, Jim, as you can see. Okay, thank you, Jim. We appreciate
Thank you, Jim.
Any more questions that you needed to ask or follow up?
No, that's it. Thank you so much. I know, hey, Santino Morella's daughter, Bianca Corelli, is down here in Florida now and is starting to do some really good things.
I've got
she's
my
already
eye
great
on
on the mic.
She's
So yeah,
incredible.
that's
She
just,
is.
wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So young too. She's got the whole world ahead of her and she's fiery.
There's so many, and like, Jim, I was just saying this the other day that, the women that inspired us to become wrestlers, there was such a small group of women, and now it's growing, and all these great women now are inspiring an even bigger amount of women to become wrestlers. So it's just growing every year in terms of talent and, the possibilities for the future. So it's great. Thanks, Jim.
Well, thank you all. And Dr. Ross.
Dr. Ross.
Got him out of here. Gail is muted. Is it just me?
That was
there we go.
Next up is Jay Bone from Total Nonstop Impact.
Jay Bone.
I'm muted.
Hey there.
Bone.
Thank you so much, ladies, for doing this today. I really appreciate it. First of all, and this is kind of for everyone from Gail on down, all the knockouts presents can answer this. The whole company overall has gone through a lot of obstacles over the course of this last year and a half, give or take a little. And you've made Skyway Studios a really cozy home for Impact Wrestling. And I gotta say, as a fan, it's come off great on TV or wherever you're watching. And moving on to Bound for Glory and Sam's Town, what's the feeling starting at a fresh place after all this that we've all gone through? How's it feel for everyone?
Deonna, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. I feel like as wrestlers, we're used to being on the road and being in different venues and seeing different faces. So I don't know that it'll be much of a shock. We've had fans for the last couple set of tapings at Skyways, and that was exciting because we hadn't got to do that. And I think especially for Slammiversary, it was more, the pressure was really on, but I think we've settled in and I think we're getting back to our old normal with this new normal. And I'm excited to see a whole new arena filled with new faces that possibly weren't able to come to Nashville, and to bring Impact Wrestling back all over the country and eventually the world.
Yeah.
Mickie?
It's a bit of it's bittersweet for me because I go, one, I'm excited to get back, like Deonna said, in front of people. And I feel like that's where I perform my best is live in front of the audience. I just love the energy that's there, you know, with the people and the story. It's just so much to it. I mean, it's a little sad because obviously Nashville is the heart of Impact in the sense, and it's my backyard. So I literally can drive to work, which I guess is why I made it so convenient for Deonna to pretty much B&E my house and my farm on live television. So, but I'm excited to go to Vegas and Sam's Town. I think it's going to be exciting for the fans because they have seen it in the Impact Zone now here in Nashville for so long that it's going to be cool to just get a whole new scene and a new vibe, and what better place than Bound for Glory. So it's exciting.
Definitely. I think this, just like you said, it's a huge event for us. Bound for Glory's biggest pay-per-view of the year. And we love Nashville. We love Skyway Studios, but you know, sometimes when we have a bigger event going on, it is nice to see those fresh faces and just have that different energy going on for that one event. And we love Las Vegas. We love Sam's Town and the fans there. Like you said, it's very far from Nashville. So the people who have not been able to see us since the fans have been back, this is their opportunity. You know, people in the California region can drive. I mean, it's just a whole new market out there for us.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you so much, ladies, and best wishes going into the rest of this calendar year.
Oh, thanks, J-Bone.
Appreciate it. Next, we've got Marco from Wrestling Infos in Germany.
Ooh.
I love Germany.
So, hello, good evening, everybody from Germany.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm pretty stoked, and oh, wait a second. Here's the video. So,
There you are.
I'm pretty stoked to get the chance to see the match between Mickie and Deonna, the two of you at Bound for Glory. Like Mickie, you are this legend and future Hall of Famer, and Deonna with your technical skills. It's like for me growing up with like divas matches and all those gimmick matches, you cannot compare it. It's wonderful what you did for women's wrestling.
Wait, you didn't like my legs match?
Of course I loved it.
You didn't like my swimsuit spectacular? I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
Gun fights.
Go for it.
So to spin it further, like coming off from the huge success of Empower, which was obviously a great show. You did it really awesome.
Oh, thank you.
So this is a question for all three of you. Like, would you think an all-women's promotion in North America would like gain this mainstream success?
Mickie, you want to answer that first? Yeah.
Yes, is the short answer, I think. And so you're saying if as an all-women's promotion altogether, do you think it would have mainstream success in just North America or globally? Because I think that the answer is yes to all of that. I think it's you know, it's taken a long time to get here, you know, from the knockouts, knockdowns to evolution to Empower to now bringing back the knockouts, knockdown. And I think the women's divisions in each company have grown so much, and now it's just providing, you know, different things. And now there's so much more than just the women's championship or the knockouts championship to fight for. Now there's the tag team championships and more of those things to have. And being that there's like such a vast amount of women, very talented women out there, that was always the thing, is like, is there enough women's talent out there? And the answer is yes, there is enough women's talent out there. And how do you get people emotionally invested in these women to tune in every week? That is the next key component of that. So, but yes.
Deonna?
Yeah, no, I agree with actually everything Mickie said. And after Empower, I did a ton of media where I said exactly that. I think that the amount of women that can be on a television show weekly and perform their best is so amazing because there's so many of them right now. And, you know, the women that are following after them who are just training, like the trend is only going to continue where women's wrestlers are coming in and are able to compete at that high level that TV requires. So yeah, 100%. I think that it would be successful. And I think that it would inspire an entire new generation of women to get into this for all of the right reasons.
Definitely. I think what Mickie was just saying, there's so many women out there, and especially with this forbidden door open, it leaves so many possibilities. And she proved it wrong. You know, people were saying at that time, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Hey, it worked. At least give us a chance. Give us the opportunity before you're going to shut us down. And like I said, it's been always a constant fight, but I think the market's out there for them. I think the talent's out there for them. And hey, it's not saying that all women are going to run the show. There are men who can support the women to run the show that are just as talented and know how to put a show together. You know, there's always men behind the scenes as well to support us. And that's really, I found in the last year, finding the men that will support the women, because it is a very male dominated industry, but we found it, and it's changing and it's getting better. And I just hope for more. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see this in the future. And so ladies, thank you very much. And
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Marco.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Marco.
Next is Joey Carney from the Angle podcast with Joey.
Joey Carney.
How are you guys?
Yeah.
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. This question is for everyone involved. So the match at Bound for Glory is going to send shockwaves through the industry. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It's given a big fight feel, and it's really uncrowned main event of Bound for Glory. Now, Deonna is one of the most dominant knockouts champions in history, and Mickie is one of the most decorated knockouts champions in history. So which attribute do you all believe outweighs the other, really to lead the factor to leave Bound for Glory the knockouts champion?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. I don't know that one really outweighs the other because I was the most decorated just means that I lost them more, unfortunately. But what it does say is that I've also, had different people to perhaps defend it against. I think that Deonna has definitely dominated since she's walked into the doors, and she's definitely, made a name for herself, and she's certainly, made a statement at my expense. I think that there's a lot more than just the championship. When I think about what's at stake here and what's on the line, it's like, yes, of course it's about the championship at the end of the day, but this has gotten really personal. And so, that's the edge. That's the real edge.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yana, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think, if I had to weigh out, dominance or experience, I think there's a middle ground between the two. But I think for me, my edge is that I've been doing this consistently for the last 18 months at Impact Wrestling. I've been at the top of our knockouts division. I've been the champion for the majority of that time. So for me, it's more watching, at NWA 73, I watched Mickie go out for her match, for the first match in nearly a year. And I saw her question herself. I saw her wonder, can I do this? Am I going to be great at this? It's been a year. What's it going to be like out there? I don't have those questions about myself. I don't have the if or what happens after. I just know how to be a dominant champion, and I've done that and I've proved that. So for me, it's going out there and saying, I've done this and I can do it, and I'm going to continue to do it forever. But for Mickie, it's the question she's going to ask herself before she walks through the curtain. So, she has done it, and she knows she has done it. The world knows she's done it, but can she do it again? And I don't have those questions.
Well, what I hear is a little bit of cockiness. So you never know. Sometimes you might come in a little bit overconfident, but I do believe that Deonna has the skills. I truly believe what it comes down to is that day when it comes to the level of talent that we see here today with Deonna and Mickie. The talent is unbelievable. So I truly am a believer that it's whoever comes in that day the most prepared, the who has put in the most work. Because I have found from just former experience that that's normally who comes out on top, you know, who preps the most and who wants it the most that day.
Mhm.
Thank you so much.
That was a
Really
good
appreciate
question.
it, Joey. Thanks for your great question. And we want to thank everyone that came to the press podcast today. Overwhelming demand, and we love having you all. Thank you so much for your patience. I will confirm that next week we will be back with my fellow colleague, D'Lo Brown. He will be hosting next week, October the 13th at 2:00 p.m. Eastern as well. And he will be hosting and presenting with the Good Brothers, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows. So we appreciate Deonna. Thank you. Mickie, thank you for your time and answering all the questions from the media. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you next week.
Ah, yay.